Hey there, welcome back to another video. So today's review is this here little bad boy. May look familiar to quite a lot of you, or the form factor may look pretty familiar to quite a lot of you. And yes, it is a sort of tiny whip clone type of, this one here is an Eachine E010. So in terms of body work, it's almost identical. Now this one here, here's the box. If I just show you, it's branded as a Wasp Fighter. On this here, there's lots of different names for it. The company's called kingtoys. Yeah, it's quite a nice box. Actually, you can see the product in the front. Remote control with a camera. And this here is the little, I've wrecked it obviously, but this is the little instruction manual. It's an N8010. 010 obviously is the Eachine sort of prefix. 6 axis gyro, 2.4 gig, 6 channel, 360 degree flips. Headless mode, 1 key flip. 1 key rotation, 1 key recover balance mode, and 1 key headless mode return, and it has a camera. So one of the things I would say is the English is hard to understand. It's not translated the best, but to be honest, it's not rocket science. It gives you your trimming functions. It gives you what this little controller does, which is exactly the same as you get with the little tiny whip clones, the Eachines and the things I got there. Or the H36 I think they're called. Yeah, so it tells you all the functionality in the road, but most people are probably familiar with this here. The only real difference in this here one is that it has a little camera in the front, and if I can just remove the canopy here. Oh, here, the canopy is actually screwed on, sorry. I thought the canopy came off in this, so it's really just an Eachine clone. Plug it in the bottom. One thing I do like about this is that the motors have individual plugs. They're not soldered onto the board. The Eachines have the soldering directly onto them, so if one of the motor goes, you have to desolder it and resolder it, which is a pain in the backside. The little battery slots into the same sort of position, and the props and all that. Nothing's standard. I haven't changed anything, so we'll just plug it in. It's flashing because it hasn't bound. Switch on the transmitter. We go up to the top, down to the bottom, the light goes solid, and that's it. Little green light's flashing on that there because I haven't charged the battery, which is absolutely fine because as long as the red light's not flashing, we're laughing. So now that it's set up, these here are the trim buttons. So if you take off and it's slightly trimmed to the left and right, these bottom buttons then adjust that, or if it's going forward or back, you adjust the trim on this one. And then we have the flip button on one on the top, and we have the other one on this here side, which changes the rates. This one's actually a multi-function button because this one actually, as well as changing the rates, activates the camera, which took me a while to figure out because the little instruction manual doesn't actually mention the camera, which is one of the biggest selling features. But anyway, apart from that, and then this one here is your headless mode and your sort of return to home mode, which out of all the functions, this here functions really, really well. It flies, to be quite honest, it flies just the same as all the sort of tiny whip Eachine type clones fly, with the addition of the camera, and the camera is actually quite good on it. The memory card slots in underneath this here, so you need to take the canopy off to get the memory card in. If I just pull the battery out, it is a standard little battery that comes with the Eachines. It's a 200 milliamp hour battery. Now I tested the battery with one of these here. I'm not sure if you've ever seen these here, but these here are USB voltage and amp meter, and what you do then is you plug the little charger, which is here. It comes with a charger and props, so you plug that into this. You plug this end into either a phone charger or into a USB port, and it tells you how many milliamps or amps it takes to charge the little battery. So this here is rated at 200 milliamps, and now I've charged this a few times, but the one I recorded, it was reading 196, which is very, very close. It's a little single cell 3.7 volt battery. They're cheapest chips to buy a whole load of them, so you know, you can buy sort of 5 of them plus a multi-charger for, you know, a tenner sort of thing. Comes with spare props, but to be honest, because of these here, it's ducted, so because of the ducts, I can't remember ever breaking a set of props in this here. You know, so the prop, one set of props, a spare set should last you a lifetime. You can take the canopy off if you need to. Sorry, you can get the USB in there with the canopy on, but what I found is when you push it in, it sits quite flush, and sometimes you may need to get something to push in there to get it back out again. Yeah, so apart from that, In flight, it's very windy outside, so I can't really show you any footage, but I'll just try and hover it here on the bench, which is always ropey, but it's just to sort of demonstrate how smooth it flies. So we'll switch the transmitter off. Okay, so I haven't trimmed it, but we'll just do a bit of flight footage on the bench to just show you how stable this little craft is. And if I can just zoom out a little bit, there we go. There we are. Not doing a great job actually, but a bit of trimming, there we go. So the throttle's very responsive. There we go, I'll not flab out too much, but there we go. Yeah, the throttle's really responsive. The little motors work really well. We'll just do a bit of a little weight test. I'll update this review once the weather settles down here and I can actually sort of get it out and do a bit of flight footage. 24.74, that's including the battery. 24.76, round about that sort of mark. So yeah, it's pretty standard. You could take the canopy off if you wanted to save a couple of grams and extend the sort of lifespan, or the sort of the flight time of this here. Another little tip for these here is, although it does reduce the amount of punch, but if you snip 2 of the props off and file them down and make it a 2-prop instead of a 4-prop blade, it does extend the battery life by considerably, sort of about a minute. So stock, I was getting about maybe 5.5 minutes out of the little battery, and if you do trim them down to a 2-prop setup, you get nearly sort of 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes, just sort of hovering about, not really being too aggressive. These here are great little things. You can stick an FPV camera on the top and you can fly this around your house. They're great fun. They're really stable to fly, and because of the ducting on them, they are very hardy, hard wearing. I'd recommend them. If you've never had one of these here little sort of tiny whip clones, they're absolutely excellent, and they're great to learn with, because say if you can fly one of these here around your house without smashing into everything, when you get a big quad, you'll be able to fly it with total precision. You know, because they're a lot more docile. You can change the rates in this here and make it quite sporty. If you put it to 100%, that basically allows the gyro to let the craft tilt more, which allows it to go faster. Or you can switch it down to sort of 25%, and it means it doesn't tilt as much, therefore it's sort of more docile flight. But yeah, overall, I really love these little quads. This one in particular is great with the little camera. The quality on it's pretty good. You know, it's not really 720 probably, but them cameras never really are, to be honest. Yeah, and it comes with a little the little sort of slot and the little canopy, which the canopies really are the only things that change much. Battery's pretty good, holds a charge, and I do like the fact that the motors have plug-ins, so spare parts for these here are readily available, and if you need to swap out the motors, you can put a new motor on, and there's no messing about with solder, which is one of the downsides with the E-Sheens, is that you have to start desoldering off a board and soldering back on, whereas these here are a plug and play to put the spares on. Yeah, so it's a nice little feature. Overall, I really highly recommend this here. It does what it says in the tin, and it's basically just a wee Whoop clone with the little added functionality of the camera to record your footage, which is a nice touch. So I hope you liked the review, and thanks very much for watching.